This video is brought to you by Miniature Market. Thousands of board games, discounted prices, miniaturemarket.com.
Hello my friends, it's the Game Boy Geek here. Today we're going to be rolling down an avenue, but we're going to be going down some dirt, dusty avenues and going by some castles, some farms, and of course some grapes. That's what it's all about today, because today we're looking at Avenue. And in this game, it's a sort of a 1 to 10 player game, really one or more, because you can play with as many people as you like. It's a quick 15-minute game. It's sort of a solitaire puzzle type game. Let me show you how it's played. I'll see you on the other side. In Avenue, you're going to be drawing on your score sheet, and you'll be creating roads from different lettered farms to different grapes and some castles. How the game works is at the beginning of the game, a farmer is going to get placed up here, and this is Farm A. So everybody, this is a simultaneous game, will write down A in the first of the yellow cards. That's the first farm that we are trying to score. Now what happens is somebody flips this card up and says the number. This is a number 6. You'll see the numbers 1 through 6 here, and they show you the different types of roads that they are. You can also, if you like to, after you've pulled a card, you can keep track of how many there are. This means I have to draw at least one road, actually exactly one road, through any of them. And since we're starting with Farm A, I'm going to go that. And then this player would continue to do this. Now some of these cards are yellow. These are score cards. As soon as the 4th yellow card comes up, the round stops and we score the farm of that round. And so here we have a 2. So I can actually take this and go like this, because it goes like that. Now let's look at another one. Oh, it's another scoring one. That's 2 of the 4 that need to come out. Now let's say I didn't want to do this. Instead of doing this once per round, I can look at what the next card is secretly, and I see C. So I could secretly write C here without letting other players see that that is C, or just memorize it. And so I know that the next one is C. Sometimes what you try to do is take a long road and have it connect through all the different farms in one big thing, because you'll get a lot of points for that. But what I do is I looked, so I don't get to write this, but you only do this once per round. So we look at the next one. Ooh, look at this, the 3rd of the scoring. I better try to get something scored here. Let's see, C, I will go, let's say, up here. So maybe we can come down here for some later once we do get to B. 4, we come here. Maybe I'll just go through this one. Sorry, that's number 5. Ooh, number 2, let's say, okay, let's say we're going to now come up like this, and ooh, we have another number 2. Let's say we kind of go like that. We have a number 4. We'll keep that one going. Ooh, we have a number 3. Usually it would have gone by now. Let's go like this. Actually, ooh, number 4. There we go. We'll go like that. Number 1. Wow, usually it would have scored by now, but we'll take this like that. Number 5, we'll take this like this, and there we have another scoring. So we would stop. Usually it's faster than that. That means there's going to be a lot of scoring coming up later. So everyone would look at their A, and they'd count the number of grapes. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and we'd put a 6 here. Now you and I already know that C is the next farm, but other people would not have known it. The next round we would put this up, and everyone now knows we're going at Farm C. Now the big thing in here is you're trying to have more grapes go to that C farm in the next one. So you have to have more than 6. If not, it's going to be worth 0 points. Right now we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Let's say we did get this during that, and then it ended up scoring. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 8. So I would put 8, and that'd be good. And then let's say we went to the next farm, and it's going to be an F. But let's say F we didn't end up. Let's say by the time F went, it kind of looked like this, and maybe went up like this and stopped. It stopped like, let's say like this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8. It did not have more than 8, so it would be 0. We would then go to the next farm. The next farm is E. We go here. E can be anything because we already zeroed out, so you just have to have more than the last farm. And let's say, you know, at the end of E, you'd score that, and so on and so forth. So let's look at one that's finally scored. Now here's actually 2 score sheets, one with a terrible score and one with a good score. So you'd start to add all these up, and then you get to the pink castle. In this case, you'd look at the castle, and you'd see how many purple grapes did this pink castle touch, and you'd put that number here. For the green castle, you'd look at how many green grapes it touched, and you add that score here. You put the subtotal of all of those here. Now, anytime you zeroed something out, you're going to get minus 5 points. In this case, I had to zero out 2 of the farms, so I had to put minus 10, so I had 40 minus 10, which is 30. This one, I did everything amazing here. I didn't have to get any zeros, and I got lots of grapes. I had a great score, and this was because in the order that it went, I looked ahead, and we had B going to A, going to... This was already sort of chained together, F and E and C, and it was one big length. So it kind of counted up all the grapes there. So that's it. Everyone's doing it simultaneously. You can play with really as many players as you want at the time. Whoever has the most points at the end is the winner. Now, I typically like short little quick games that I can get people into gaming that are not really into it yet, and this fits that bill. I also like puzzly style games, and that also fits into this bill. Now, the game itself, it says 1 to 10 players, but I don't see why there's not a reason why you couldn't just play with more than that. It's pretty cool, even though everyone is just doing their own thing, and you're not really interacting at all with any of the other players. It's still cool to see that you are all actually playing the same exact game, but yet your farms and how you connect them and your whole entire avenue that you've driven or avenues that you've made are different. Even though you guys played the same game, you had different, maybe some different information, maybe different ideas of where things are going to be going, and I like how those things are different. Now, from a puzzly aspect, it's interesting because you're getting a card and you know which farm you're trying to connect to the grapes, and you're starting to draw them out. But then it gets to the point where it's like, oh, I can't really use that one. What do I do next? Well, I could put this one over here, but that will block me off over here. And there's a lot of forward thinking. So this is really good for, you know, a different type of thinking of your brain if you're trying to predict what's coming, but then rolling with the punches and trying to leave yourself open so you don't block yourself in and that you're trying to chain together this long avenue through all the farms if you can. So it's a good little, quick little game. It's super simple. I mean, you can teach this thing to anybody. It's so easy, literally. You get in the card, you're either drawing the avenue road on your little sheet there, or you're peeking at the next farm to come up. That's pretty much it. But there's a lot of thinking that goes in this. It takes one of them that takes, as soon as you play it and you finish it, you're gonna go, let's play it again. Let's play it again, because it's quick, it's easy, and it's got that addictive element to it. Overall, I like the game. It does remind me a little bit of a game, one of the Spiel des Jahres nominees that came out last year, Karuba, which was actually one of my favorite family games that have come out last year. Now, I will say this does give me a similar feeling to Karuba, where everyone's playing the same game. Instead of a tile being flipped, it's a card, but everyone's basically playing the same game, but your puzzle will be different. That much is pretty much the same. Now, I will say that I enjoyed Karuba a little bit more than this because that had some player interaction where you're watching what the other players are doing, and there's a little bit of a speed element where you're trying to gauge and press your luck. Yeah, are they going to go to that gem before me or not? And I loved the interaction with that along with the puzzliness. So from that aspect, I liked Karuba better than this. But there are 3 things that this game does better than Karuba. Number 1 is Karuba just plays 4 players. This plays as many as you want. So you have a big group, you could play this when you couldn't play Karuba. Number 2, it is super portable. So this game, literally, if you take it out of the box, all you have is basically the contents and the cards and the sheets. So this thing, even in the box, is pretty portable, but you can literally just fit this in your pocket if you took the components out. So number 2, it's very portable. And the third thing this thing does better than Karuba is you can play it solo. Because there's no interaction, that might have been a downside, which is why I love Karuba better. But the upside is you can play this game solo. I've played it a few times solo. It's fine, it works. It works just as good as if you were playing with anybody else. So it's a really good solo game. So with all that being said, I still like Karuba better as a game, but this definitely has some advantages that Karuba doesn't. And I think because of those differences, you could still probably own both of these in your collection, and that is Avenue.
This video was sponsored by Miniature Market's Review Corner. The Review Corner features podcasts, video, and written game reviews by gamers for gamers. Miniature Market, the online gaming superstore. Thousands of board games, discounted prices. Check them out at miniaturemarket.com. I'd like to thank each and every one of you for backing me on Kickstarter and making this season become a reality. I'd like to especially thank those here that have backed me at the credit level. Now, these video reviews are also available by audio on our podcast. It's the intros and the final thoughts on GameBoyGeek.com. Click podcast.